All right, so when doing a mortgage, there's a ton of moving parts. It's just the nature of the beast. There's the buyer, there's the seller, you're the buyer in this case, the seller. There's sometimes it's a refinance, and there's just a lot of pieces to deal with the government, with the regulations, with all the different parts and pieces that go together to fit together to make what happens in mortgage. That's why it takes time, that's why it takes expertise, that's why it takes a good guide. So we want to make sure that we're able to do this. Now, because of all the moving parts, it's inevitable that something will come up. Whether that's a small thing or a big thing, we got to be sure that we're going to be prepared to make the best decision to go forward. So I wanted to kind of walk with that through you today. So sometimes something will come up where you're going to have to address it, and we have to make sure that we know what we're doing and how to approach it. So be prepared, right? We got to know, and we got to follow the steps. All right. So the first step then would be don't freak out. I get it. You have this nice, beautiful house you're really looking forward to having. It's got this really great plan that you already have in place, and then something changes. It could be a credit issue, could be a real estate issue, could be a seller having not responding to the inspection response you wanted. Whatever it is, the number one step is to don't freak out. And I get it. That thing that you want is just about to be taken from you. We can't make a decision based off of a quick emotion or an irrational fear. We have to take everything, all the information that we could possibly have at that time to be able to make a smart decision to move forward. So don't freak out. Once we're done freaking out, the next step would be to gather as much information as we possibly can. I wouldn't want you to make a major decision, could affect the rest of your life, based off of a quick emotion. So we gather the information. How do we do this? Well, we talk to the buyer, we talk to all the realtors involved. If it's a real estate decision, if it's a credit decision or a loan decision, then we have to figure out what other options do we have and what do we qualify for. We go through a whole big list of figuring out where the needs really actually are. And once we get those needs, we see what we qualify for. We take all that information and we build a list of options. We put you in a place where you feel comfortable and qualified. Once we've assembled a list of options based off of all of the information we have, we can go through that information with a fine-tooth comb, look at all the options that are available to us, step back, make a rational decision, a smart, logical decision, not one based on emotion. And that way it puts us back in control of the whole decision-making process. I don't want to make that decision for you. I want to be your guide so that you can be able to make that decision on your own. You can be happy with the decision you make today and for years to come. That is what makes me happy. So remember, the first step is don't panic. The second step is to gather as much information as we possibly can. Third step, use that information to assemble a list of options for us. Then we move forward the best way that we can with the most information that we can. And that way we can avoid a hairy situation.